So Strong Black again. JBSC. Diary of a Dying Pastafarian. Oh, jeez, my leg. Uh, Basically, I've been in the hospital about 3 times now. Maybe 4, I don't know. Since Christmas. And this is like, October 28th, 2023. Still need a heart transplant. They still won't give me one. They said you got to earn it. They said I didn't earn it. No, I just statistically I wouldn't last very long if they gave me the heart. They don't want to waste it on me. Maybe in the future I could be better health wise and they'd give it to me, but now they won't. So one of them times I was in the hospital, they put me on Miller or something like that. They all sound the same, all these drugs and stuff. But it was a 24/7 IV, so I had to carry that around with me. It had a little electric thing and a pump. And then, of course, I had my life vest, which is like a defibrillator or a pacemaker that you wear outside instead of inside your body. But it came with a little electronic thing that controlled everything, like a little purse or whatever. And so I had that, the pump for the IV, and then have a bad back, so I have to wear a back brace. And it's not just a regular back brace it's the heavy duty kind. Looks like there's an ironing board on the back of your back. You know what I mean? It's giant, man. So, all this equipment I had to carry around, it's like 20 pounds worth of crap. They're like, you need to take it easy and not do stuff, but here's 20, 30 pounds of crap you can carry around in a freaking backpacker with you all the time. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But, yeah, they put me on that for about a month and a half, and they were telling me how, people, you can't, people die after a year being on this Miller now. So you got to do something here, man. Nobody lasts that. And if we take you off of the Miller you'll just be dead within a couple weeks, man. So, if the pump stops working and it breaks or whatever, run to the freaking hospital, man. That's what they told me. So then after a month and a half, they're like, hey, let's try to get you off that Miller. I'm like, what? You just told me that you can't get me off of it. They're like, oh, let's give it a shot. so we gave it a shot, and now I'm off of that. So I'm just on pills. I take about 10 pills a day. I started out with like 7 doctors, and I went up to like 15. Then I went down to 7, and now I'm down to like 4 or something like that. I can't deal with these doctors, man. One thing I did do was I stopped going to see them. I told them, no. I'll do phone. I'll call you on the freaking phone, man. These people, they want me to drive 30, 40, 50, 100 minutes, go see them at their doctor office so they can take my blood pressure and talk to me for 3 minutes. I got a blood pressure machine in my house. I can take my own blood pressure. And if you want to talk to me, I don't need to drive an hour to get to your freaking office and then sit there for an hour to wait to talk to you. Like that's crazy. And I guess old people put up with it. I'm not putting up with that. That's stupid. So I put all my all my appointments over to phone calls, which made it a lot easier. Let me tell you. But since I was doing these I guess they're not used to doing phone calls because usually when you go on your appointment, they tell you to go see the receptionist and make an appointment for your next appointment. But since I'm doing phone appointments with the doctor, he just usually hangs up. He's like, oh, okay, well, that's all your questions. That's all I got to tell you. I'll talk to you, have a good day or whatever. And they don't make no appointment. So I've just been not taking I've been getting rid of my doctors one by one by doing these phone calls. And I'm down to like maybe four or something like that, or maybe 5. I don't know. So whoever gives me pills, if they give me pills, and even them people, I'm actually down to I'm down to one doctor really, because the rest of them I ain't going. I didn't make an appointment, but once my pills run out, I'm gonna have to tell I'm gonna say, hey, give me some more pills. They're gonna be like, oh, you gotta come in, or at least do a phone call, you know. But I'm amazed that old people put up with that crap, man. Why would you call? What you you make me drive all the way down to some place, sit there for a half hour, whatever, an hour, talk to me for 5 minutes. Something you could have told me over the phone, man. I don't know. But anyways, like I said, I'm going to start talking about different events or things. Like I said in the last thing, is Green Deal, or you might say the climate crisis, genderism, slavery, racism, BLM, WEF, CRT, and the Ukraine war. The first one I'm picking is the climate crisis, okay? Like I said, I'm going to tell you the difference between these three religions. And you tell me which one is the not so nut job, the idiot, and who's the one that's logical, okay? And so let's see. You got your climate crisis. What do the woke people say about the climate crisis? And the woke people would be the Democrats. Well, they say that we're going to die in like tomorrow if we don't change our ways, man. I mean, what's funny is these people, these activists, these green people, these climate nut jobs, they say that you're going to be dead in 5 or 10 years, but they said this stuff 5, 10 years ago. Like Greta, here's a perfect example. Greta Thunberg, or whatever her name is, she's that little girl that's from Australia or the UK or something, I think from Australia. And she did a press conference with the news people, and she was outraged about, and she was just a little girl, not too little of a girl. She was like maybe 12 or something, I don't know. Talking about how we're going to die and we're going to, the planet's going to boil away and we're all going to just catch on fire in 5 years. And then she put it in a post. And then 5 years later, which was about, I don't know, a couple months ago, she deleted that tweet because it makes her look like a fool, because she said in 5 years we'd all be dead. But yet here we are 5 years later and we are not dead. And there's actually no difference between, climate today as it was 5 years ago. It's the same, man. But their theory is that, and it's racist. Climate is racist. But that's what the woke say. They say that this, they're these kids in college, they're going crazy because they think everything's, when you have a religion, right, and it predicts the end of days, but it predicts those end of days like now, you know that they're crazy. You can stop listening to them. Like the guy on the corner in New York City, and he's got the sign up, the end is near, the end is near, we're all going to die, we're all going to die. Yeah, he's a crazy nut job. You don't have to listen to him. And anyone who says that they know that the apocalypse is coming tomorrow, you don't listen, okay? Now, if he says the apocalypse is coming 100 years from now, 200 years, maybe listen. But if he's saying it's coming tomorrow, if it's coming in 5 years, yeah, he's a nut job, okay? Greta Thunberg is a nut job, okay? And they want to spend all this money on all these green climate stuff because of the climate crisis. And now, what does the Christian say? Okay, or what does the Republican, if you want to put it in a political frame of reference, what does the Christian say? Now, the Christian says, well, there is concern, there is a climate crisis, but it's not like a climate crisis where we need to run around like our heads are on fire. It's a crisis that's going to be a couple years, a couple hundred years of time, and we have plenty of time to figure it out and do better. Stop our CO2 emissions. We need to just not stop them, but just keep cutting them down and cutting them down, because CO2 is bad. CO2 is terrible. Now, that woke people will tell you that CO2 is actually toxic. You will die. You will die if there's too much. If we pump too much CO2 in the air, we will just die because it's a poison, man. That's what they say. That CO2 is a poison. Okay. Now, what does a pastafarian say about this? I want you to think about what. Let's concentrate on the woke, okay? Because they're the more crazy ones, right? Because a pastafarian says that we need to pump CO2 into the atmosphere. Did you notice that I try to Google it too, man. Like when you try to talk about pollution or anything like that, pollution doesn't exist anymore, apparently. They'll never talk about too much smoke or too much soot or too much hydrocarbons that are just put into the air or whatever. None of that. No one cares about it anymore. And the reason why is because we do such a good job on cleaning our air up from factories. It's like it's not even a big deal anymore. No one even cares. It's not even whatever. The only thing that they care about, the only thing that pollution is right now is just CO2. That's the only thing. No other pollution. Like when we had that train wreck in Ohio, Palestine, Ohio, and all the chemicals. Did you see any green people giving a crap that all those chloro-type hydrocarbons were put into the air and into the water and into the streams with the fishes and all the animals and the people? No one batted an eye. No one complained. They only care. Doesn't that sound weird to anybody? That pollution isn't even anything about pollution. It's just about CO2, something that we breathe every day, that plants need to survive. Like if you don't have CO2, your plants breathe it. It's like oxygen. You need CO2 and you need oxygen. That's like common sense, man. That is common sense. But these people, they say that, everyone's going to die here soon. And I'm going to go into the first things, because this video is almost over. I see by my timer here. But the first thing I'm going to go into is some graphs and some graph type information for you to look at. And I'm going to show you how these people decipher data, how they decipher common sense and logic and facts, because they are not doing a good job about it, okay? I can tell you that right now. And both the woke religion and the Christian religion, or the Democrats and Republicans, both sides are idiots. They prove that they have not looked into any of this stuff. Not any of it. They're just whatever. Some dude, that told me that this is what it is, so I believe him. I didn't look into anything, but I'm going to have this idea of what it is, and I'm going to spend money on it or not spend money on it, even though I have no idea. I've never looked into any of it. Why won't they look into anything? Like if I didn't look into it, I wouldn't have an opinion. I'd say I don't know. But these people, they can't say. Human beings cannot say the words, I just don't know. They can't say it. They'd rather die. If you put a gun to their head, they won't say it. But anyways, that's the first thing I'm going to do when we come back, is show that because what do the green people say? Climate is going to kill us because we're going to have famine and drought and these hurricanes and whatever. Well, why don't we just look up all these hurricane facts and data, and we will see. God damn it.